Decor in Building 2 at 3391 National Pike in Farmington. Zen's Antiques and Home Decor.
Chris Parker Jr., what's going on at Autoland Hyundai?
While other car manufacturers are raising prices, at Autoland, we're lowering prices. We are also offering above Blue Book value in all trades. All this, plus the amazing incentives and financing offers from Hyundai on top of that.
I'm listening.
How about the fuel-efficient 2025 Elantra SE with 2.99 APR for 72 months, or lease for $229 per month? Check out our great selection of all-wheel drive SUVs, ranging from the Hyundai Kona to the full-size third-row Santa Fe, both with 3.99 financing for 72 months, or choose $2,000 HMF bonus cash on the Santa Fe.
Plus Hyundai Owner Assurance, America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain protection with every new Hyundai purchased, and 3-year, 36,000-mile free complimentary maintenance. Autoland Hyundai, downtown Uniontown, or visit their website at AutolandHyundai.com.
Remember, you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
Tireman's Auto Garage, voted best in Fayette for tires, has the cheapest prices in town on tires. Plus, this used tire special. Just $25 a tire, including mounting and balancing, with a variety of sizes and ACIMA financing available. The crew at Tireman's Auto Garage are top automotive specialists. They can work on any car, can do any repair. They offer diagnostic service, alignments, oil changes, state inspections, batteries, brakes, rotors, and more. Warm weather means more driving. Be safe and save with the cheapest tire prices at Tireman's Auto Garage. Just $25 for used tires, mounted and balanced. If you've driven by Tireman's Auto Garage recently, you've probably seen all the 2-, 4-, and 6-seater golf carts. Well, they're there for a reason. They're available for sale with ACIMA financing, or ask about daily or weekly rental. So stop in and see Joe and Kim at Tireman's Auto Garage. Check out the $25 used tire special, new tires, golf carts, and more. Tireman's Auto Garage, Mill Street in Uniontown. Call 724-425-9606.
Has your living room lost its life? Chesler's Fine Furniture wants to breathe some excitement back into those tired old furnishings. Right now, Chesler's has their best sellers in upholstery on sale. This is a limited time event, so hurry in now and choose from King Hickory, Best Upholstery, Lancer, Craftmaster, and Lazy Boy. Select from casual contemporary, traditional, or motion living room suits and relax in comfort. Stationary sofas start at just $4.99 and reclining sofas at $7.99. Chaise sofas at $6.29 and sectionals at $11.39. Choose from fabrics or leathers, all in stock for immediate delivery or free layaway for up to 90 days. Credit terms and delivery are available at Chesler's Fine Furniture, Route 51 in Uniontown, where customers send their friends.
Earlier today, when I was hosting the What's on Your Mind show, I started talking about great guitars, and people called in. I said I thought the greatest guitar riff ever was Layla, part of Layla by Eric Clapton, when he was part of Derek and the Dominoes. Somebody called in right away and said, no, Keith Richards, he thought had a better one with the Stones. I was surprised. You don't hear about Keith and his...
What song would that be? I mean, Layla's hard to knock Layla off number one.
Right. He claimed it was Satisfaction.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're all good.
So that came... Sorry.
Yeah, that opening riff's great. That really is.
So there was a fellow... Where was he from? I forget. Republic. Mark from Republic. Do I have that right?
Oh, there you go. Mark.
He called in and he said, I have to disagree with you. Earlier, I was doing one of my rants about how much I hate when people take dogs to stores. And unless it's a support dog. And he said, I got to disagree with you.
How did that come up?
I thought he was going to say... like how much I'm a dog hater. I'm not. I tend to be at times a dog owner hater.
Yeah.
But no, he said he disagreed with that. A lot of nice compliments I got, by the way. By the way, I should mention my name. I'm Doug Saltzman, host of the Afternoon Drive Show. I was filling in for Russ in this chair earlier today from 1 to 3.
Wow.
And we had some nice people calling in saying nice things. You know, if you send out $10 to 24 people, there's a good chance 3 or 4 are going to call in and say
that's true. If you write them nice letters and send money out.
Exactly.
Well, that's great. I mean, hey, somebody's listening. Somebody likes us. People like me.
I mean, yeah, I'm a good person, and people like me.
That's it. Stuart Smalley, Al
I couldn't think of his
Franken.
name. I was thinking it was.
He went from SNL to senator to being resigning from the Senate in disgrace to whatever he's doing now.
He's doing okay.
I think he's doing
not
all right.
making
He should
fun.
not have resigned, by the way. That was
No,
absurd.
that was ridiculous.
Ridiculous. People are, well, let's not go down that
Because
road.
something he posed for a photo, pretending to touch a woman's chest.
Yeah.
Pretending to do it.
Pretending.
When he was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. And
That's-
people went
That,
apoplectic.
that might be the most subtle thing
It
that's
was
ever
like
happened in the Saturday
Janet
Night Live.
Jackson combined with the Hindenburg. People lost their what.
Yeah, that was a bit
Stupid.
silly. Article here. I took this. I asked permission to take this off Bill Madden's desk, our coworker here.
Wow.
An article from the Wall Street Journal.
An old-fashioned newspaper.
I said, "Do you want this back, Bill?" He said no, and I said, "Okay," because I'm going to read it in the bathroom.
Oh, that's nice.
Like to George Costanza when he took the book into the bathroom.
It's been flagged.
Yeah, it's been flagged. Yeah, it's just an article Thursday, June 12th, because I try to keep up on my Wall Street Journal sports page, which is what I'm holding in my hand for those of you watching.
It's only a month old.
On Facebook Live. He's, quote, a headline, "He's the best pitcher in baseball and he can barely win a game." Subheadline, "Pirates ace Paul Skeens is delivering another delivering another otherworldly season from the mound. But thanks to the offensive ineptitude of his Pittsburgh teammates, he somehow holds a losing record."
That's
I
accurate.
was talking to our general manager earlier, Brian Morozek, and said,
Big Pirate fan, by the way.
Could Skeens win the Cy Young with 10 wins?
I doubt it. I mean, is he the best pitcher in baseball? Yes, and I think he'll be awarded by starting the All-Star game, but it's never happened before, and they didn't give it to him last year because he's a rookie. Now they're not going to give it to him this year because he won't have enough wins. There's always some arbitrary thing that will keep the best pitcher in baseball from winning the Best Pitcher award.
This is one of those Elias Sports Bureau questions, but I wonder how many times a starting pitcher has started two All-Star games in a row.
That's a great question. I'm sure it's happened back in the
Maybe
day.
back in the
Maybe Doc Gooden, Pedro.
Or the Atlanta Braves pitchers. at one
Glavin,
point.
Maddox,
Yeah,
and
that crew.
Smoltz.
Pittsburgh has not had
Seaver could have done it. Yeah.
has not had a starting pitcher in back-to-back. Did I say World Series? I said World Series earlier. All-Star games.
Well, yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah, exactly. The Pirates have not had a pitcher pitch in back-to-back All-Star games since
Bob Veal?
Bob Veal in the 60s,
Yeah.
66, 67. He was an
Amazing.
incredible pitcher in his own right. But, yeah, the Skeens thing is amazing. He's mature. When he does afterwards, he doesn't get the win. The Pirates score one run or no runs.
He has it down. His agent or his counselor, his coach,
Well-
they've trained him. They said, look, the Pirates drafted you, so every time you go out and lose, even though you pitched well, just, say you respect your teammates, you respect the organization. He knew what he was getting into, and he can't wait to leave, I'm sure.
He's not your standard rookie. He was, of course, in a military academy. Not the military academy. Where was he? Wasn't West Point.
Air Force.
Air Force Academy.
He went to LSU. Quite a change in pace, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Partying, a lot more partying at Louisiana State, I would imagine.
Yeah, you don't get into the Air Force Academy just because you're a good pitcher. You have to be a mature kid.
Yeah, they don't care about
when
that.
I worked for Senator Arlen Specter, I coordinated this committee of people who would meet with these high school kids and make recommendations to the senator as to who he should nominate for the academy. That's how you have to get into an academy. Nomination by a member of Congress, the vice president, and others.
Wow.
And then after I left the staff, I was on that committee. These high school kids would come in with resumes and accomplishments, not just good grades, but like volunteering in the community.
Oh, sure.
They were unbelievable.
Yes.
It gave you hope for the future.
So basically, we could ever have gotten in.
Not a chance.
No, not a chance.
But Skeens, you get into one of the academies.
Yeah.
You're not your standard high school kid.
No, you have a 4.0, if not better, and you're volunteering every day at the Red Cross.
Yeah, this amazing, and he handles himself well, that's for sure. So this article by Jared Diamond with the Wall Street Journal, and it'd be good to get him on the line.
Jared, can you come on and discuss a 1-month-old article from the paper that I found on my coworker's desk randomly? Please explain to him the details. But no, tell him we air the games, and I'm sure he'll jump at that.
Wait, I found his email here.
Oh,
hey.
He has an electronic mail address? Wow, that's new. That's hip.
Yeah, that's so I will
Good for him.
I will track him down. I don't think we're going to get him today.
You never know.
No, you never know. That's right.
I'm sure he's not busy on this random Wednesday evening.
So we will see if we can get home. It's a very interesting article. Hey, I'll read a couple things because nothing's better than reading.
Could
on
you
the radio.
please read?
Nobody on the planet understands the plight of Pittsburgh Pirates ace Paul Skeens better than Joe McGrain. As the young pitcher in 1988, McGrain posted a major league best 2.18 ERA. The St. Louis Cards somehow just went 8-16 in his outings. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And so that's the first two paragraphs.
Oh, okay.
The last two paragraphs.
Oh, could you?
Until then, Skeens will continue to make history for all the wrong reasons. Since earned runs became an official statistic in 1913, no qualified pitcher with an ERA of 2 or less finished the season with an individual record below 500. Next paragraph. Then again, none of them played for the 2025 Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's great. That reminded me not to get political of Biden when he read the thing on the prompter. When you said next paragraph.
Right. Yeah.
Repeat the line.
Repeat the line. Wait for applause.
Wait for applause. Stop. Repeat the line. That's basically what you're getting at, what that article's getting at, is Skeens is great and his team's awful around him. I mean, we didn't need hardcore analysis for that, but... Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and that's why he was picked. That's why the Pirates were in a position to pick him first overall 2 years ago, because they were the worst team that year before. But he's great. He's going to go, if he keeps this up, he'll go down one of the best pitchers ever, and that's not, hyperbolic.
And you're not going to hear about him getting arrested at a bar for being in a fight or breaking his arm.
Not yet. There's time, Doug. He's still in his 20s. East Carson Street is wild. Sure, your daughters know all about it.
Carson Street.
Oh, God. It's worse than ever, and that's saying something.
I have two daughters that live on the south side who are now moving away from the south side. In fact, my one already has. Bought her first new house, my oldest.
A house?
She bought
with walls and a door you walk out?
Yard, the whole thing.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's too much.
As you can imagine, for your first house, and it's not your exact starter house. It's a very nice home.
Yeah.
And the Saltzmans are pretty much homebodies. She moved I think, half mile from where she grew up.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, good for her.
So it's good to have them close. Like all four of my daughters live nearby. My mother...
Not a requirement if they wanted to leave.
Yeah, right. It's not a requirement.
Yeah.
My mother used to say she never took it for granted that her 2 sons and all 6 grandkids lived within 5 minutes.
Was that right? Wow.
Maybe my brother, 12.
12. Oh,
12
he was the long distance trip, 12 minutes away.
I'll call you later, honey, after 11 o'clock when the rates are lower.
Dave, why do you have to live 12 minutes away?
Do people know what that means?
I'm sure the intern Luke doesn't.
For those who don't, of course, it used to be if you called after 7 p.m., the rates were lower. Mm-hmm. If you waited till after 11 p.m., they were much lower.
Amazing.
So my mom's best friend, her cousin Nancy, Mom would call from Pittsburgh to Livermore, California at 11 o'clock at night because it was cheap rates. And, of course, it was only 8 o'clock.
So every night, your mom's friend would get a call at 8:01 local
that's
time.
Right. Hello.
Oh, that's great.
Or back in the days when I got my first cell phone, which was a car phone.
Wow.
It was
a brick. No.
It was it's actually a car phone. It went in your car.
Oh, wow.
And you had to go to a service station. They would wire it in. In the trunk, they would put this thing in with like the size of a VCR player. For those who remember what that is,
you may as well be describing cave etchings. To some people, to our intern. Yeah,
and it was a 50 cents a minute.
That's amazing.
To make calls on a cell phone.
But you know what's amazing about history and the progression of time? In 20, 30 years, this will be obsolete. The cell phone I'm holding up now. As amazing as we think it is, this will be obsolete soon.
1,000 more times computing power in that phone than the spaceship that went to the moon.
It's amazing.
When you
smartphones are both amazing and ruining the planet all at the same time.
In the history of
I'm sure there's a lot of things like that. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the impact of a cell phone. But
no.
When I was saw a comedian one time, and people were always holding their cell phones. And this cell phone stinks. I hate this phone.
Oh, I know.
The cell phone's the greatest thing ever.
Really?
You can walk down the street.
Yeah.
Well, the other day,
someone said that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm driving along. My daughter calls me. I'm doing a live video call. That's probably illegal. But I had it. I had it in the little stand in my car. Yeah. I'm talking to her live video from Paris.
Wow, that is amazing.
Free,
and it didn't break up.
No,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
She turned around. There was the Eiffel Tower.
Oui.
Yeah. Back in the day when I was with a political consulting firm in the 80s, if we wanted to do a live uplink, a live interview for a candidate, one of our clients, we would have to rent a satellite truck, which back then was $3,000 an hour just to rent the truck, let alone the uplink going up to a satellite. You had to pay for the satellite time.
Now Facebook Live, just go. We're on it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't have to order a satellite truck to show you Doug's face.
We didn't have, and my bald head.
Well, there's that.
Gosh, I hate that angle, I tell you.
Get a rug, Doug. No, it's fine. It's a great angle. It shows your head and the banner behind you.
Should I get a rug? Many, many years ago, I was going to my 25th class reunion.
Oh.
And my then wife was going with me, and Jill. And a buddy I bowl with finally gave up his rug. He just took it off. So I asked if I could borrow it. I was going to wear it, like for the first half hour of the class reunion.
That's funny.
Because it would have looked so bad on me. And Jill said, "Oh, you can wear that. I'm not going." So I did not wear the rug.
And that's why the marriage didn't last. But hey, anyway, no.
Because I went bald?
No, because it sounds like no fun. No, I'm sure she's not listening. Hopefully. No, I'm going to lose my hair one day. I already am. So it's all right. Nothing wrong with it.
My brother has a full head of hair. You know my annoyance with my brother, who's 6'4", weighs like 190 pounds.
Ugh.
I've never seen him do a toe touch. I saw him run twice in his life. Once for a bus, once to get a plane connection.
People like that infuriate me. And you hear them, I eat what I want, I drink, I don't exercise.
No.
First of all, screw you. I'd say stronger language if I could. I'm sure they're lying, but it's just annoying.
Yeah, Dave. He's got full head of hair. He's a heck of a lot smarter.
Well, it's all relative. Could he host a radio show all day like you've done? Maybe he could.
I'm not sure if he could or not. But
you're doing all right, Dougie. You're doing all right, honey.
Thank you. We know who we haven't talked to in a while is our good friend from the Trolley Museum, Scott Becker.
Wow.
Who is now retired as executive director. He has a title. How about this? Ambassador Emeritus of the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum.
That's great. But so the day-to-day business of trolleys got too much for him.
Exactly.
The Emeritus is a great title.
Yeah, Ambassador Emeritus.
Ambassador Emeritus is great.
The Honorable Scott Becker at this point. He's going to join us, talk about the history of that museum, where it is now, his time with it. So a light conversation at right after the break at the bottom of the hour. But before that, we're going to go to CBS News for the news update here in about 6 seconds. So stick around. You're listening to the Afternoon Drive Show on WMBS Uniontown. I'm Doug. That's Nick. Stick around.
CBS News Brief. 120 known dead and 160 still missing in the Texas floods. The search is taking on increased urgency. Fire official Razor Dobbs.
We've been finding remains since day one, and it continues now. Sometimes it takes rappelling. It takes getting down there. You have to be very, very careful.
Officials are especially concerned about huge piles of debris where there may be victims. Russia launched its biggest barrage yet against Ukraine overnight. CBS's Ramy Inocencio.
Vladimir Zelensky again pushing back, saying that he wants more sanctions on Russian oil exports because that is where they get most of their money from in order to fund the war effort.
President Trump said he is considering additional sanctions proposed by senators. Big tech news sent stocks soaring as Jason Brooks reports.
NVIDIA became the first company to surpass a $4 trillion market valuation, continuing a stunning rise.
CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
Your health is more than just how you feel today. It's about staying well for the years ahead. At WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Primary Care, we're here to help you manage your health with regular checkups, screenings, and care that's tailored to you. With locations in Uniontown, Carmichaels, Connellsville, and Scottdale, it's easy to find care close to home. Visit wvumedicine.org/Uniontown today to find the primary care provider who is right for you.
This is attorney Michael Mays of the Davis & Davis Law Firm. We have been helping injured people just like you recover millions of dollars for over 45 years. If you're hurt or injured, I want to meet you and make sure you get the money that you deserve. Call me at 724-437-2799 for your free consultation. The Davis & Davis Law Firm has been protecting our neighbors in Greene and Fayette counties for over 45 years. Go to davisanddavislaw.com or call 724-437-2799 for your free consultation.
Oak Pizza in downtown Uniontown is your one-stop shop for the most unique pizzas in the region. From the masterminds behind the Fat Angelo's franchise, Oak Pizza is the laboratory where the Fat Angelo's food scientists test their creations and let you be the judge. With traditional favorites like pepperoni and buffalo chicken pizzas to more experimental offerings like the sesame seed-infused Mad Pie or the spicy chicken pickle pizza, Oak has you covered. Order today at oakpizzas.com or by calling 724-439-5805. Your taste buds will thank you.
Route 21 Furniture. Take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture. Take the road to your perfect home.
Well, warmer days are ahead, the kind of days when you'll be enjoying your deck or patio again, especially with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturers and customer guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Lifetime Awnings, 724-554-6067. Call for a no-cost or obligation home consultation or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
Bad hair day? Bad day at the office? Bad day behind the wheel? Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance. Gives you a great rate that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross Traver Township is Sprowls Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to sprowlsinsurance.com.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
Career Link is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Welcome back to the Afternoon Drive Show on a rainy, cool, my gosh, compared to the weather we've had lately, Nick, it's rather mild out there, for heaven's sakes. I did the afternoon What's on Your Mind show today, and I had a promise that if I said the wrong name of the show, every time I said it wrong, I would give $5 to charity. I didn't say it once.
Is that right?
But I did call TJ, our afternoon producer, Nick, and then I said, coming up, our next guest at 2:20, or 1:20, I said the guest was on, and TJ said, Doug, at 2:20, you're an hour off.
Wow.
So that's a $10 donation for mistakes.
That's a charity savvy.
Major mistakes.
It happens.
Yeah, it has to be a major mistake.
At least you didn't say 5:30. You're used to saying that.
That was Ted Nugent, by the way, bringing us out of the break, who was a big fan of trolleys, I read once.
Absolutely.
In Rolling Stone magazine.
It was on the cover.
I don't think it was on the cover.
No.
But he's a fan of trolleys, and that's sort of odd that music popped up. We don't pick this music. It kind of blends in there from time to time. And why am I saying that? Because our next guest, and we're very pleased to have now the retired executive director, president of the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum, whose title is now, you ready for this, Nick? Ambassador Emeritus, which I think we have to call him the Honorable at this time. So the Honorable Scott Becker joins us from the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum. Scott, congratulations on a terrific career, and congratulations on your retirement.
Hi, Doug. It's good to talk to you again.
Now,
thank you.
Now you don't have to manage the place. You're just having fun at the place as an ambassador, correct?
Right. Yep. I still volunteer there. Lots of good things going on at the museum. I'd be happy to tell you more about it.
Absolutely. And of course, you weren't there all that long. Just how long were you at the museum, Scott? How many decades?
Just almost 32 years.
32 years. How about that? Not bad, Nick. 32 years and a passion for trolleys and remarkable. This is not, a trolley museum where you have small trolleys on little train tracks. These are real trolleys. I remember many years ago, a friend of mine, I say it's a great museum. You got to go down to it. Well, I guess I wasn't clear enough describing it. And she went down with her children, and she said, Doug, you didn't tell me these were real trolleys. I think she thought it was a train display. And I said, yeah, they were thrilled. The kids had no idea. They thought they were going to a train display of trolleys, not the real things. And the amount of trolleys you have there is amazing. But the fact that how some of them come there, a couple of them showed up, I'm guessing, that were barely able to get there in one piece. And you and your staff and your volunteers do incredible jobs restoring them, don't you?
Yes. When we get them, as the accountants would say, they're fully depreciated. So we do a lot of work to upgrade the wiring, the paint, the upholstery on the seats, the motors. It's quite a process.
And you just don't determine how to do that on your own, do you? It's you if you can find original drawings or even the specs, you want to try to get it back to how it was, if that's possible. Correct?
Yeah, we actually have a pretty good size archives. We have a lot of blueprints and trade information from back in the day that we can use.
It's interesting too when you think about that, and so much of that is done by volunteers. And trolleys are one of those things that you don't have a casual interest. People love that stuff, and to restore history like that. And I remember many years ago, the last trolley that ran on what was then the Port Authority, Pat Transit, now PRT. There was one line left that ran. It was the Drake line, which is out near Southwest Village. So my daughter and I said, okay, we're going to ride this. It was the last day. And classic old trolleys. I said, here, I'm going to get out at this stop, stay in the back seat, slide the window open, and wave out the window. She was about 5 years old. And as I'm taking the picture, this trolley starts going. And she's like, Dad. So those old trolleys, I ran up, pulled the door open, and jumped in as it was moving along. You can't exactly do that with the new subway cars. But those old trolleys kind of at times ran on a wing and a prayer, didn't they?
They were. We're actually restoring two old Pat Transit cars right now. One you probably are aware of, the Terrible Trolley, that was painted for the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the 1980s.
Yeah, it's just like it looks like. It's a big Terrible towel on wheels, and it's a classic. And of course, those are what are those? Those trolleys have a special name. I forget what they were called.
Well, they were the PCC cars, the Streamliners, they were called, and the Terrible Trolley was built in 1949. It used to run all the way to Charleroi, all the way to Washington originally.
Yeah, those trolleys. Trolleys ran here in Uniontown, where our station's located. There are still tracks on streets down here. The idea of trolleys running was just a regular thing in most towns, and a lot of people wish we could get back to that era. But yeah, those trolleys ran from downtown Pittsburgh that far out, all the way to Charleroi and elsewhere. In many cases, they were interesting, too, because they were single tracks, weren't they? So if another trolley came the other way, there'd be like a little bypass. You'd go over for a moment, and then the other trolley would go by, and off you'd go. So it wasn't like these were all double track back then, huh?
Right. They were passing sidings.
Yeah. So is that what they're called? Passing sidings. I remember using those. But back to the museum now. So much has happened in your tenure there, 32 years. Amazing. Including, of course, most recently, and everything as it was, of course, delayed by pandemic at times, but a visitor center, a full-fledged visitor center. And I have a feeling that's probably where you're spending a lot of your time now as a volunteer.
Yeah, it's worked out really well. We opened a new 21,000 square foot Welcome Education Center in November of 2023. And since we opened it, we've had over 80,000 visitors go through it.
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
It's been very popular. What's really fun about it is we have 15 interactive exhibits at the Carnegie Science Center built for us. We also have a theater. We have lots of exhibits. We have a big museum store. We have a beautiful brick-lined street with 33,000 hand-laid bricks in it. We have canopies where you can get out of the rain, which were used from Station Square, the old Pittsburgh and Lake Erie station. We have the canopy supports from there. We have a 28,000 square foot trolley display building. You can go inside and look at the trolleys, go inside the trolleys. So there's really a lot to do. And this time of year is a great time to come because we're open 6 days a week, Tuesday through Sunday, 10 to 4.
Yeah. And of course, the Trolley Museum has been around for many, many years. And it also serves for transportation purposes during the Washington County Fair, correct?
Exactly. The Washington County Fair, which starts August 9th and runs through the 16th, we're going to be running trolleys every day from 10 in the morning until 11 at night. And it's only $5 round trip. And we're actually going to include the museum during that time as well. So it's definitely a good time to come.
And then it's also just not to go for a ride, but you can park at one spot and then head out to the fair as well, correct?
Yes, we have 3 different parking lots we serve.
Yeah. And so it's just not for fun. It's actually makes it very convenient instead of hopping on a school bus or something like that for, as you often do. I remember talking to somebody involved with the Fayette County Fair, said, man, I wish we had a trolley running to our fair.
Yeah.
That 2 very successful county fairs, of course, Fayette and Washington Fair. So you talked a moment there about the new visitor center, education center. What prompted that? What came about that made you decide as director and your board, of course, to put that into motion?
Well, very simply, Doug, we ran out of room. The old site, especially during our special events, we really couldn't accommodate all the visitors. And so the new facility really allows us to accommodate a lot more visitors, and there's just more room to tell the story of the trolley era, which is what our mission is.
Yeah, and when you're storing trolleys and displaying trolleys, it takes a very large building, and I've been out there so many times over the years. And how many trolleys do you actually have that have been or are being restored? How large is your collection at this point?
So we have 22 trolleys on display in the trolley display building. We have an operating fleet of about 20 cars, and both work cars and passenger cars. So we have we're like a small town trolley system. That's about how big they were. So
yeah, and
we have a good variety.
And they're from all over, so you're not just coming out there seeing trolleys from southwestern PA.
This time of year, our most popular car is from Rio de Janeiro. It's an open car from 1911, and it has open sides on it. And it's called a breezer because when you go ride down the track, the wind kind of blows through the car, and it's very refreshing on a hot day.
Right. You have an archives facility there, and folks are welcome to donate to it if they have history of trolleys, and not right now, but at times people are welcome to use those archives. I know it's not available right now for research, but they can, and folks can make donations, and then obviously that's the museum staff to determine is this something be appropriate to have in its archives about the history of trolleys, et cetera. Tell us about the archives and the purpose of it.
So we actually have 3 campuses, and our Reliance campus is where our archives is, and we have about 15,000 square feet of archives. We have all kinds of photos and documents and blueprints and films and you name it, we have it. We have lots of small artifacts. The archives is, we have a bunch of volunteers that work there and sort it. We probably get donations. I would say we get donations every week to the archives.
Yeah. And the trolleys you have, and as I mentioned a moment ago, they're not just from this region. Frankly, you've had some that have come across oceans, correct?
Right. Well, the Rio de Janeiro car obviously is from Brazil. We do have the original streetcar named Desire from New Orleans, and we also have trolleys from West Virginia and Ohio, as well as all over Pennsylvania.
How does that come about? How does one end up with the streetcar named Desire? How do you get a trolley from Brazil? How does that work?
Yeah, well, it came up on a coffee boat back in the mid-1960s. It originally was at a museum up in Bloomsburg, PA, and unfortunately that museum was wrecked by Hurricane Agnes in 1972. So then it moved to New Jersey, and then it was down in Orlando, Florida, and that's where we found it. It was sitting in a warehouse.
Wow.
So we were able to acquire it and bring it up to the museum and restore it. It took our volunteers about 5 years to restore.
Yeah, this is not a quick process, and I can't imagine. We're talking literally thousands of hours, tens of thousands of hours of volunteer work.
About 12,000 hours on the open car.
Wow. And again,
new wiring, new air piping, new paint. The seats are beautiful. They're like a peroba wood, which is a hardwood from Brazil, and our volunteers carefully clean them and put 7 coats of varnish on.
Yeah, it's amazing when you go down there, and I just love that story. When my friend called me, he said, "Doug, you didn't tell me they were real trolleys," and they were thrilled with the idea. As I said, it'd be a nice surprise to show up and realize you're seeing the real things. She said her kids went crazy; they thought they were going to go.
It's a 4-mile round trip, is what we offer. It goes through the woods, it goes alongside a creek. It's very scenic. Yeah, it really. I've been there lots of times with my kids over the years. Father's Day, my birthday, that sort of thing. They know what I'm interested in. So in your 32 years of working there, and obviously the position you held made what's happening right now possible. How did you get into that career? It's not your standard career path to be director of a trolley museum. Well, I started as a volunteer at a trolley museum in East Haven, Connecticut when I was 15 years old. So I've been at this a long time, and before coming here, I was executive director of the Connecticut Trolley Museum and the Eli Whitney Museum. They're both in Connecticut. And I came here in 1993 as the first employee, first executive director. Well, that's terrific. And so how long has it been around? And not in its the museum, actually, the first 3 cars came February 7th, 1954, but we opened to the public in June of 1963. So when I got there in 93, the museum had already been open 30 years. Yeah. And so what occurred? So we're talking a 60-year cycle here for this Pennsylvania. Yeah, 71 years we've been in Washington County. Wow, that's extraordinary. We are talking with Scott Becker, former director of the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum, now ambassador emeritus, and nobody better, of course, for you to stay involved. And some of your community members, Ray Betts, who I know well from his days at Bombardier and ABB Westinghouse. It went through a number of different names over the years. Ray Bettler, yeah. Ray Bettler, I'm sorry. I said Ray Betts. Ray Bettler. Well, the funny thing is we have another trustee named Ray Betts as well. Oh, that's what I'm mixing it up with. And he's an HR professional, and he helps us a lot, too. So we have Ray Bettler and Ray Betts. Yeah, and all thrilled to be part of that. And, it's fascinating, too. This is not just something you get involved because you want to put it on your resume. These are folks who are truly into this and to preserve history like this because it's not a simple process, and you couldn't do it without volunteers. The cost of paying people to restore these would just be cost prohibitive, wouldn't it? Right. We have right now we have about 210 volunteers, and they donate about 30,000 hours a year. So that's really tremendous. And without them, the museum couldn't be open. Yeah, it really is. It's a terrific. So now with your visitor center, last time I was out with my kids, we bumped into you, of course. And I'm sure we'll see you more now that you're volunteering, right? You'll be out and about and not running the show. You must be thrilled to have the opportunity to do. Yeah, and I want to say the museum's in good hands. Our executive director is Janine DeBoer. She's actually been involved with the museum for quite a while, has a real passion for the museum, and really she's doing a great job. So the museum is in very good hands. Well, that's terrific. We'll no doubt have to have her on sometime to talk to her about yes, she would like to talk to you, absolutely. Her new role, and make sure we see her next time we head out to the museum. And we'll finish up with this. And in addition to this being the museum, the visitor center, education programs, research, etc., you do have special events too, fun for the kids, Easter bunnies. We do. Like I mentioned the Washington County Fair, which is August 9th to the 16th. But in the fall, we have some really nice events. We have a Magic Pumpkin Trolley, which is October 10 to 12 and 17 to 19. We have a Tricker Trolley, which is October 25th to 26th. And then we have our Christmas event, which is Santa Trolley, and that runs for 4 weekends right after Thanksgiving. So those are really, really popular events. That's terrific. Scott Becker, congratulations on an extraordinary career. We appreciate your taking time to join us today on short notice to talk about the Trolley Museum. And it's one of those situations that you didn't just get into it as a job, huh? It definitely was a vocation for you and for everybody involved. To be to doing stuff like this. Scott, congrats, and thanks so much for joining us. Give a good word to Janine so she trusts us to have us on the I will. Great talking to you, Doug. All right, take care. Scott Becker joining us on the Afternoon Drive Show on the WMBS Newsmakers line. Good guy, Scott. Really nice.
down to earth, knows his stuff, does a great job out there at the museum, and now, of course, is the Ambassador Emeritus. That's a cool title.
I like it.
I think
it's pretty good.
I like that. I like that too. Coming up in the third half of the show, we're going to talk some politics. A member of the congressional delegation in Pennsylvania, who most people thought was going to run for Congress or run for governor, rather, next year, has decided not to. We'll talk about that coming up with our guest at 6:20. Chris Nicholas. We talk to him about every 6 weeks, every 2 months. It's been a while since we've talked to him. Thought we better check in. Then we're going to talk to our intern.
Oh, boy.
We'll put him on the spot down here. Now, good guy.
Wow.
We talked to him very briefly last night, right before the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. His name is Lucas Moody. Fascinating major he has at Penn West, California.
A major that was not offered to you when you started college.
I don't think it was offered more than 5 years ago.
No, probably not.
Yeah, it's, I told
What
him
is it again? Interpretive dance? I forget. Something like that.
I went through an entire 4 years of college without ever using a computer.
That's amazing.
I showed up on for orientation freshman year with my own typewriter. I think people thought my family was rich because I brought it.
You went through college without using a computer, and now every college kid has a computer in their pocket.
In their pocket.
And in their hand all day long.
And somehow they don't answer it when I call them.
That's right.
At least my 4 daughters.
Yes, and these are people that you raised and you may still give money to.
Okay, not as much as they'd like me to.
Yeah.
They say, "Oh, Dad, I didn't look at my phone today." I'm like, baloney.
Yeah, baloney. Maybe you haven't looked at it in the last 2 minutes.
You sleep with it.
Yeah, really. Oh, that's great.
We had to put a rule in. No, I don't care if your phone's going dead. You cannot have your phone on the charging wire in bed.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to unwrap it around your throat.
We need some limits here.
Yeah, exactly.
Some
Something
restraint.
like that. Let's take a break. We'll wrap up the 5 o'clock hour coming up. It's the Afternoon Drive Show. I'm Doug Saltzman. That's Nick Barczyk. Hope you haven't heard too much of me today. I hosted the What's on Your Mind show today. Earlier today, it went okay. We had a nice time. Me and TJ, for heaven's sakes. All right, stick around.
Here's a business looking for a customer.
Hi there.
Here's a customer looking for a business.
Hi.
And that's where the Better Business Bureau comes in. The BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. That's why 2023 IABBB research found 80% of people choose BBB accredited businesses over non-accredited ones with the same A+ letter rating. Live happily, better after. Always look for the sign of a better business because it's looking out for you. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
It's a day that ends in Y, so it's a day that you might decide you don't want to cook. That means it's the perfect day to order Fat Angelo's. Offering delicious pizzas, salads, hoagies, strombolis and calzones, wings, and more. And with 12 locations across the area ready to serve you, today is the day to visit FatAngelosPizza.com, where you can quickly and conveniently find your local shop and place your order online. Or get the local phone number and give them a call. Order up!
This is Eric Cushy from Curtis Pharmacy. People love being in their home more than being in some type of facility. Our independent living program is a tool to help you keep a senior in their home longer. Part of our onboarding process is we coordinate with all of your physicians, get new prescriptions, we handle all the refills, and we make sure there's no problem with one medication versus another from different doctors. Go to our website at curtispharmacy.com, call any one of our 4 area locations, Claysville, Washington, Connellsville, or Carmichaels.
Join WMBS for a special live broadcast from the Fayette County Firefighters Convention at the Farmington Volunteer Fire Department on Monday, July 14th from 6 to 8 p.m. Hi, I'm TJ DeStefano. Brian Morozak and Ron Berry from the lighter side will join me as we celebrate our local heroes. Our broadcast is sponsored by AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning shop manager Mark Lambie Jr. From tune-ups and maintenance to heater repair and air conditioning replacement, AirServe provides services that keep the air you breathe clean and keep your home or business at the perfect temperature. To learn more about AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning, call Mark Lambie Jr. at 412-301-5544. 412-301-5544 for AirServe. That's a special live broadcast from the Fayette County Firefighters Convention, Monday, July 14th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Farmington Volunteer Fire Department. Stop by and spin our prize wheel and say hello. We will see you on Monday, July 14th at the Farmington Volunteer Fire Department.
Did you know that you have a choice for your physical therapy provider? NovaCare Rehabilitation offers same-day appointments, and oftentimes you don't need a prescription from your doctor to see us. We will make sure that you are treated as an individual and will work directly one-on-one with you to help achieve your goals. You have tried the rest, now try the best. NovaCare. Delaware Avenue in Uniontown. Phone 724-437-0556 to schedule your appointment today.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Wow, your dog looks beautiful.
We went to Mutt's on Market Street, the new dog grooming salon in downtown Brownsville. Samantha, the owner, has over 10 years dog grooming experience. They work with any dog, any breed, any size.
Didn't it cost a fortune?
No, the prices are great. They offer a full line of grooming and other services.
With warm weather on the way, now's the time to schedule an appointment for your furry friend's spring grooming. Mutt's on Market Street, downtown Brownsville, next to Hope Park. For more information, visit Mutt's on Market Street on Facebook. Mutt's on Market Street will be open during the Market Street repairs.
WMBS.
Our producer, Nick Vortex, keeps yelling at me, and I don't like it, frankly, but
yelling at
that's
Stern.
okay.
It's Stern talk.
Stern talk.
And he knows his radio Stern. He's made a lot of money in it.
We're about a half an hour away from the CBS News at 6 o'clock. Did you know, Nick, that today is National No Bra Day? Already? Yes. Can you believe it? No Bra Day. And it says here, and this is all from CBS News, the average American bra size is 36 double D. Ooh. I don't recall that.
They didn't come up in history class in high school.
That might be a reason to wear a bra. I'm not sure. That's a good one. Well, I think we better get off the air right now. CBS News next on your local station, WMBS Uniontown, followed by local news with Nick.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. With 160 people still missing from the floods in Texas, the search has taken on new urgency. Kerr County Sheriff Larry Letha.
It's all hands on deck. Everybody we got are out here, but also we have an additional 2,000 plus people helping us.
They're searching debris in case victims are buried there. Fire official Razor Dobbs.
There's massive debris fields, some 50 feet high, 300 feet long. Now, since we have a little bit of drying out, we can get some heavy equipment to where we can start picking through these debris fields.
Karen Wall reports they're also combing through campgrounds, including Camp Mystic, where so many were killed.
Near the wrecked cabins, the heartbreaking sight of girls' belongings are spread on the ground. Teams are drying and packing each item to return to the parents.
The devastation was the most horrific thing I've ever seen.
Texas Senator Ted Cruz visited the camp, including the bunk for the youngest girls.
The water blew out the windows in that cabin and swept all of the girls and the counselors out. Every girl in that cabin is either confirmed dead or missing.
3 people were killed yesterday in Ruidoso, New Mexico, after heavy rain sent the river there rising to the highest level ever recorded. Mayor Lynn Crawford.
The swiftwater rescues, our emergency responders conducted approximately 65 swiftwater rescues during yesterday's event.
President Trump sent out more tariff letters today, one to Brazil, which is now facing a huge increase. Linda Kenyon reports.
In his letter, President Trump said he is setting the tariff level at 50%. He cited the trial of former Brazilian President Bolsonaro, who is charged with trying to overturn the results of his 2022 election. The president wrote, quote, "This trial should not be taking place. It is a witch hunt that should end immediately." While Trump has stated his tariffs are meant to correct trade imbalances, his levy against Brazil suggests personal grudges, not just economics at play.
The president said today he's confident about the outcome of ceasefire negotiations on Gaza.
There's a very good chance that we'll have a settlement, an agreement of some kind this week and maybe next week if not.
Philadelphia has struck a tentative deal with city workers to end their strike and resume trash collection.
It's great news. Yeah, I was worried that this would go on for like weeks and weeks and weeks, and it would just create a problem for the city.
Trash collection won't resume until Monday. The Supreme Court today refused to allow Florida to enforce an immigration law, making it a crime for people who are in the U.S. illegally to enter that state. On Wall Street, stocks finished the day higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oak Pizza in downtown Uniontown is your one-stop shop for the most unique pizzas in the region. From the masterminds behind the Fat Angelo's franchise, Oak Pizza is the laboratory where the Fat Angelo's food scientists test their creations and let you be the judge. With traditional favorites like pepperoni and buffalo chicken pizzas to more experimental offerings like the sesame seed-infused Mad Pie or the spicy chicken pickle pizza, Oak has you covered. Order today at oakpizzas.com or by calling 724-439-5805. Your taste buds will thank you.
Wow, your dog looks beautiful. We went to Mutt's on Market Street, the new dog grooming salon in downtown Brownsville. Samantha, the owner, has over 10 years dog grooming experience. They work with any dog, any breed, any size.
Didn't it cost a fortune?
No, the prices are great. They offer a full line of grooming and other services.
With warm weather on the way, now's the time to schedule an appointment for your furry friend's spring grooming. Mutt's on Market Street, downtown Brownsville, next to Hope Park. For more information, visit Mutt's on Market Street on Facebook. Mutt's on Market Street will be open during the Market Street repairs.
This is one very stale cake.
Master bakers have been engaged on a very special order, a wedding cake for Princess Elizabeth.
An auction house in England says royal fan Jerry Layton has purchased the last slice of that 1947 cake for more than $3,600. He says he'll flambe it in rum to kill off the bacteria and eat it at a replica state banquet he's planning to hold for his 65th birthday next year. There won't be much left over for sharing. Layton's piece of cake measures just 4 inches. It was originally gifted to a chief petty officer in the Royal Navy. He reportedly preserved it and left it to his son, who kept it in a drawer. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
A click to cancel rule that would have required businesses to make it easier for consumers to cancel unwanted subscriptions and memberships has been blocked by a court just days before it was to go into effect. It required businesses to disclose when free trials are ending. I'm Cammie McCormick, CBS News.
The award-winning local, district, and statewide news is being brought to you by Point Hill Living Care Home of Point Marion. Offering customized care for all residents, Point Hill Living Care Home is committed to compassionate care and personalized support. And now the news.
Oh, golly. 6:05 on this Wednesday, and I'm Nick Barczyk, I think, from the Davis & Davis studios. 71 degrees, cloudy skies. Rain has stopped for now outside of our Davis & Davis studios. More on the Weather Watch and sports in just a bit. And student loan borrowers that have to rely on interest accrual in southwest Pennsylvania for the Saving on Valuable Education plan is set to restart next month. The SAVE plan, which was created recently under the Biden administration, became a popular option for its ability to offer some borrowers monthly payments as low as $0, while borrowers will not be responsible for making payments on the SAVE plan until forbearance ends. Their balance will rise with the restart of the interest accrual. The Education Department is urging these borrowers to choose a new repayment plan before restarting their payments. The Greene County Planning Commission unanimously voted to approve a new compressor station in Wayne Township at its monthly meeting this week. The Herald Standard reports the construction at the Mammoth Compressor Station to be built by natural gas company EQM Gathering OpCo will include a nearly 70 by 260 building on the compressor pad, as well as an access road connecting to Drift Ridge Road in Wayne. The state DEP, Department of Environmental Protection, has approved a permit for that site in Greene. Some students and faculty at Carnegie Mellon University in Allegheny County are outraged over a planned visit to the campus by President Trump next week. Pennsylvania Senator Dave McCormick has invited the president to speak at the Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit next week on July 15th. A CMU associate chemistry professor has led the effort in writing an open letter to university leaders saying the president is a harmful person and the event should be moved off the campus. And the professor says she was told by CMU administrators that the university has no involvement in the summit and they are simply serving as a venue. Nearly 15,000 students in West Virginia will receive full funding for the Hope Scholarship during the 2025-26 academic year. The number is up roughly 4,000 students from the current academic year. The Pennsylvania Make That West Virginia State Treasurer Larry Pack says the growth is very tremendous as more parents and guardians are taking advantage of this effort. The Hope Scholarship gives financial support to families that are pursuing education outside the public school system. The scholarship is for more than $5,200. And the U.S. wants to ban the sale of farmland to buyers linked to China.
That's according to Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins, who told reporters on Tuesday that the Trump administration will move to ban sales to investors that are tied to foreign adversaries. Rollins said an executive order is likely coming soon, citing national and food security threats. The secretary was asked about efforts to take back land currently owned by China-linked buyers, saying her department is looking at every available option. I'm Mark Mayfield.
More next on WMPS.
Point Hill Living Care Home is an all-new personal care home conveniently located in Point Marion and is now accepting new residents. Point Hill Living is committed to providing comfort and support while allowing residents to maintain their independence and enhance their quality of life. With a dedicated staff and experienced advanced care team, Point Hill Living offers fully customized care plans for all residents, while also ensuring a sense of community and engagement, making Point Hill feel like home. Multiple care levels are available, from basic plans to fully customized and enhanced plans, including options for medical monitoring and full-time dedicated assistance. If you are looking for a high-quality care home close to home, look no further than Point Hill Living Care Home at 300 Union Street in Point Marion. Call them today at 724-725-5533 to learn more, or visit them at pointhillliving.com. Point Hill Living Care Home, where our residents are family.
The National Football League, as we go to sports, the National Football League and the NFL Players Association are agreeing to keep secret a ruling that found league leaders encourage teams to avoid fully guaranteed contracts. Multiple outlets report the agreement stemmed from a collusion claim tied to Deshaun Watson in his $230 million deal with the Cleveland Browns. The arbitrator found no formal collusion, but cited the improper pressure from league officials to limit guaranteed money on player contracts. The NFLPA has since appealed, but is facing backlash over its initial secrecy. And in sports, we will bring you more sports. We'll bring you the Bucks on the air this evening. Pittsburgh Pirates looking to snap a 5-game losing streak, battling the Royals on Kansas City. Lefty Bailey Falter on the mound for the Bucks on the air at 7:15. The game at 7:40 tonight on WMBS. Now the WMBS Weather Watch for all of southwest of Pennsylvania. Right now it's 71. Went up to 79 today with some heavy rain earlier in the day. Right now that is tapered off. Overnight low tonight at 67. Some rain Thursday at 85. A threat of afternoon showers. And rain moving in on Thursday evening, it looks like as well, but should be sunny for the weekend. Friday, sunny and 87, up to 90 with sun Saturday. Overnight low at 71, 87 with a threat of thunderstorm Sunday, and Monday at 81. Right now, we're at 71 at 6:11 on this Wednesday evening. And good evening from the Davis & Davis studios at your local station, WMBS. I am Nick Barczyk. On the way next, more of the afternoon drive show with Doug Saltzman. And again, Bucco baseball tonight. Out in Missouri, the Buccos taking on the Royals. Pirates and the Royals, on WMBS.
The local, district, and statewide news was brought to you by Point Hill Living Care Home. Conveniently located in Point Marion, call them today at 724-725-5533 to see if their services are right for you and your loved one.
Have you been told there is nothing that can be done for your neuropathy? Tri-State Neuropathy Centers is pleased to tell you that's not true. As one of the largest and most successful neuropathy treatment practices in the country, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has grown to 9 regional centers and helped over 14,000 patients, like Kim from Morgantown. Kim was experiencing such severe numbness, burning, and stabbing pain in her feet that she constantly felt distracted in life. Then Kim discovered Tri-State Neuropathy Centers and their effective FDA-approved treatment program that has no drugs, is non-invasive, and painless. Kim no longer has the pain that was limiting her daily activities, and she's now enjoying life again. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers helped Kim, along with thousands of others. Let them help you next. Call 304-777-2068. That's 304-777-2068. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy.
Enjoy the Story Square Summer Concert Series every Thursday throughout the summer from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. featuring music and food with local bands and vendors. WMBS will also be on hand for a live broadcast with the prize wheel and giveaways various Thursdays throughout the summer. Bring along your friends and family to enjoy the talents of local musicians. It's an ideal opportunity to celebrate community spirit and support local talent. The Story Square Summer Concert Series is supported by the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Uniontown and presented weekly by fine businesses including Premier Nissan, First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County, the Herald Standard, the Sprouse Insurance Group and insurance agent David Hughes, the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital, Lee's Plumbing, Mike Kelly Toyota of Uniontown, the Fayette Launchbox, A1 Porta-Johns, and by Fayette Area Coordinated Transportation. Check out the full schedule of the 2025 concert series at uniontownredevelopment.com/Story Square. We will see you there.
Yeah, they're the people I trust. It's the place I go. Home Warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
This is home improvement season. Home Warehouse in Uniontown is your one-stop shop for all your exterior building needs. It's the place that makes a house a happy home. Looking to add a deck? Home Warehouse carries composite decking materials and maintenance-free railing in a variety of styles. Plus, roofing shingles, metal and commercial rubber roofing, windows and doors, shutters, siding, soffit and fascia, railing, columns, 5 and 6-inch seamless gutters, plus flooring and more. Whatever building products you need, you'll be pleased with the selection and hometown service. So stop in and see Sandy and Donnie at Home Warehouse, Connellsville Street in Uniontown. Shop Monday through Friday 8 to 4:30, Saturday 8 to noon, closed Sunday and holidays.
Home Warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Are you considering a project design and don't know where to start? K2 Engineering offers a wide range of professional civil, architectural, and municipal services to meet your individual project needs. Our versatility combined with our personalized approach is what sets us apart as a full-service engineering and consultation firm. To learn more about our services, please visit us on the web at www.k2engineering.net. K2 Engineering, where customer service is our priority.
Check out the new program on WMBS, Local Leaf Live, the second and fourth Thursday morning of every month at 10:15 starting July 10th. Brought to you by Local Leaf in Scottdale. The program covers the Pennsylvania medical marijuana industry, qualifying medical conditions in Pennsylvania, product information from the Local Leaf staff, how to register for your medical card, and how medical marijuana is improving patients' lives. Local Leaf Live, brought to you by Local Leaf in Scottdale, starting Thursday, July 10th at 10:15 on WMBS.
We try to have interesting on-the-air conversations, but frankly, our off-air conversations are just as interesting.
So interesting.
Nick is telling me that when he's going to Florida coming up, the headline's going to be, "He's here," and headline in the paper. And you compared that to Charlie Chaplin.
Yes, I think back in the day, Charlie Chaplin and maybe Mark Twain as well, when they arrived in town, they were the big celebrities back then, especially Chaplin. It would just say in the paper, say he arrived in New York on the subway, not the subway, the train, "He's here." That's all it would say, and people knew who it was. There was no picture, there was no name. He's here.
He's here.
And then, I mean, his name would be in the article, but then people just knew who it was. He was that famous.
So when you show up at the Villages down in Florida, I assume that's where you're going.
Absolutely. Kicking it with the older crowd. I love older people.
I knew a guy, I haven't talked to him in years. His parents lived at the Villages. And they said, as silly as... the Seinfelds basically lived at the Villages.
Yes, the Boca Vista
Seinfeld
Phase
parents.
2.
Yeah, exactly. He said, that's not even close to what that place is like.
It's even crazier.
It's even crazier.
Oh, my God.
Like people complaining, like you're not allowed to have your window blinds open this time of day. You have a Christmas wreath up too early. You have,
But the dinner's at 4 and you're in bed at 6. It sounds like fun.
That's right. Get the early bird special. That's
right.
Salisbury steak and green beans.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Doesn't it, though?
Yeah, it really does.
I could never move there. First off, I don't like old people.
Well,
and I'm right in that range right now.
Old people who act their age, old people who act young or great or act normal.
I've said this before in the year. My mother would never join a senior citizen group because she didn't want to hear about people's ailments.
Yes.
Mom used to say, nobody cares if you're arthritic.
Exactly. I thought she was going to say the Groucho Marx line. I want to be a member of a club that would have me as a member.
Well, I dated my wife, now ex-wife, for 9 years because I said my standards are way too high. I could never marry a woman who would have me as her husband.
That's a great point.
Exactly. But we had 12 happy years together, Not bad for a 22-year marriage.
That's pretty good.
Exactly.
That's more than half, right? Yeah.
Exactly. I actually stole that line from a former boss of mine and our next guest. And joining us right now on the WMBS Newsmakers line, veteran Republican political consultant, a former colleague of mine from back in the day, Christopher Nicholas. Christopher, thank you very much for joining us. That was a classic line of Arlen Specter. He would say, we've had 40 happy years together, which isn't bad out of 52. He would talk about his wife, Joan, who passed away in the last year or so.
He would never, first, it's good to be with you.
Thanks.
Again, but he never made that joke in front of Joan.
No,
so,
of course not.
That was the joke when his wife was not
around,
which was, of course, smart. That's why he got all those years.
I think you're right. Yeah. In fact, my marriage was much better until I started spending more time at home. Yeah. When I was on the road all the time, things were great. And I think I don't think that my ex listens to the show, but she would agree with that line. I'm convinced. Well, we always we check in with you. I was surprised it's been about 6-7 weeks since we've talked to you last, and of course we have a governor's race coming up next year. It's been very quiet so far. No doubt the current governor's running for re-election will not be challenged in a primary. Although a friend of mine recently said, it's only a matter of time. Fetterman's going to announce he's running in the primary for governor of Pennsylvania on the Democratic ticket. It
would be a free race for John Fetterman. He wouldn't have to leave a Senate gig.
Right.
And he apparently doesn't want to be in D.C. a lot anyway. So running for governor would be a great segue for his excuse to spend more time like you at home.
Yeah, he might have the best name idea of any U.S. senator in the country at this point. He's on every show imaginable. You hear the name constantly. It's sort of funny, but no, a friend of mine was half kidding, I think, that might happen. But on the Republican side, a candidate, Congressman Muser from Pennsylvania, who received an endorsement from Donald Trump when he was up in the Mon Valley at the steel plant a few weeks ago, has now decided he's not running. I think that may have surprised a lot of folks, especially since the president basically endorsed him at that rally.
Yeah, the congressman you're referring to is from Northeast PA, NEPA, as we call it, Luzerne County. His name is Dan Muser, and he kind of did things backwards, right? So he got endorsed by the president and then decided not to run. Normally, it's the you kind of announce and then you hope for endorsements. Perhaps the White House was trying to urge him along, but the story I heard is that he did some research on the race. This is Dan Muser, the congressman, and decided running for office for governor for him next year was not in the cards. He's going to run for re-election and gain more seniority in the House. Our current House delegation is 9 Republicans and 8 Democrats. In Congressman Muser's general part of the world in Pennsylvania, we have 2 brand-new freshman Republican, Ryan McKenzie in the Lehigh Valley in the 7th District, and Rob Bresnahan in the 8th District in another district that takes in Northeast PA. So I'm sure, a little bit of his thinking was he wanted to help those 2 freshmen get through their first re-election.
We had an interview scheduled for this week with the congressman, and out of the blue was canceled, and then within a day, I realized why, that he may not want to do an interview on that topic of whether he's running for governor or not. That was although people cancel all the time for interviews for various reasons, but then about a day and a half later, I'm like, I think I know why.
Yep. So that was interesting. The state treasurer, Stacey Garrity, who has been elected in 2020 and reelected in 24, she is seen as a potential Republican candidate for governor. She can't run for re-election to state treasurer. Those offices, auditor general, attorney general, and treasurer, your 2-term limits, just like the governor. So it would, in essence, be, and I use air quotes around the word free, it would be a free election for the treasurer, Stacey Garrity, because she would still continue to be, obviously, state treasurer. And if she wins, then she's governor. And if she loses, she's still a couple more years in her final term as state treasurer.
And what, of course, makes that very interesting is the fact that she can't run for re-election as treasurer, as you mentioned. She would not be able to run for attorney general because she's not an attorney. At least I don't think she is. If she is, I missed it. And
she is not.
And you cannot run for auditor general if you were a formerly a statewide office holder in Pennsylvania, because you would end up auditing your own books, which is sort of an interesting thing. So she can't go into the Auditor General option, can she?
No, she can't. It's one of the most interesting asterisks in Pennsylvania politics. You can't go from either Attorney General or Treasurer to Auditor because you're always auditing the books from a couple of years before, correct? So if you were to move to Auditor General a year later, you'd be auditing what you did in your previous job. So that's why people, if they're thinking about it, they go, well, I'm going to run for Auditor General first.
Right, exactly.
And get that out of the way. So
yeah, I guess that would also apply to governor and lieutenant governor, although you don't see too many. I don't ever recall somebody running who was governor run for Auditor General or lieutenant governor run for Auditor General. But I guess that would apply the same way as well, because you'd be auditing your books.
Now that I don't know. The only president who famously ran for office afterwards and was successful is John Quincy Adams, who was president and then got himself elected to the House of Representatives, where he served several terms as a former president / congressman.
Yeah, and one of those little things in history that only geeks like you and me would know. And
Yes.
I say as a compliment that we would know something like that. Not your standard bit of information that the average person would know, as we talk with Chris Nicholas. Yeah, you do, of course, your twice a week newsletter, and I always like to talk about that. It's fascinating information. It really is. Even I learn stuff. I do this stuff for a living, but I don't think I've ever read one. I said, oh, I didn't know that. And,
well, that's the goal of my newsletter. Thank you for bringing it up. The PA Political Digest is I want to help people keep even more up to speed on Pennsylvania campaigns and politics. And one of the reasons that I keep writing it is I keep learning new things. Besides analyzing campaigns and politics, which I've been doing for decades, I still learn new things, and then I, in turn, write them up, and then folks like you who subscribe, they learn them too. There's so much information out there. One of my subscribers said that there's no way he could keep up with it all, but he's glad for, in his case, $75 a year is the subscription price, that I do that for him. And that's one of the reasons people read newsletters of any stripe, right? They're interested in the subject, and they want to keep up to date. Pennsylvania politics never leaves you without something to write, Doug. It is always something going on.
Yeah, many years ago, I knew somebody who worked in Pennsylvania as a lobbyist and went to Texas. And, of course, the Texas legislature meets, every 2 years for 60 days. And he said, what a different world it is down there. And just a very different. Of course, they're going to come up in a special election now because of the tragic flooding down there. But it's a whole different world, even a state the size of Texas. To have that. Your most recent Political Digest had a very blunt headline, and it was not just based on opinion or analysis, but actual polling information. Pennsylvania Political Digest, why are so many younger Democrats so angry at Israel and Jewish people? And that was based on some polling that was done, wasn't it?
It's really striking. One of the things I enjoy about politics is if you're upset with it, wait 12 months, it'll change. So for decades, the bulk of the vote of our Jewish friends and neighbors went to Democrats. Regardless of the office, most Jews voted Democrat. And this past election, last year for president, Donald Trump received a higher vote from Jewish voters than any time since, I think, 84 or 88. It was in the high 30s. Okay, that's great. Good for Republicans to diversify our voter base. And then you look at all of those terrible protests on college campuses last year where so many students were wearing the keffiyeh, which is the kind of, if people don't remember what that is, it's kind of the net covering that Anwar Sadat and people who ran the Palestinian part of the world, Palestinian Liberation Organization, and it's a symbol of, fighting against, Jewish oppression, supposedly. Yet all these college campuses, a lot of the ones, Ivy Leagues, kind of just blown up, and they were violent. And then you saw this Muslim fella, Zohran Mamdani, a state assemblyman in New York State, win the Democratic primary for mayor of New York City. And when he ran in 2020, which was a strange year for everybody, or for assembly, he used the phrase globalize the intifada. Intifada is the organized resistance and fighting back against, again, perceived Jewish aggression, and it's violent. And he was given a million opportunities to repudiate that now that he was running for mayor of New York, and he didn't. And the largest population of Jews outside Israel is New York City. There's about 980,000. So I was just struck by that. So you see all these protests from younger people, Democrats. They don't like Israel. They don't like Jews. This is after Israel had that surprise attack on them on October 7th a couple of years ago by the terrorist operation Hamas. They yell at Republicans because we supposedly don't support women enough, and then they support, the PLO, who give no rights to women. So it was all kind of swirling in my head, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not making any sense. And then I saw some polling from Pew Research, which is ironically based in Pennsylvania, and there it was. 67% of Democrats have an unfavorable impression of Israel. And they're the only democracy in that part of the world. They're a multi-party democracy. Even if you're not Jewish, you have rights to vote and everything in Israel. Meanwhile, from the Abraham Accords and some other things, Israel's relations with their former Arab neighbors are getting warmer and better. And now here at home, here in America, these younger Democrats are becoming totally opposed to Israel and the Jewish voters, and quite frankly, it smacks of rank anti-Semitism. And I'm one of those people who I think about things that I get it figured out that I want to write about it. So it just kind of struck me as, oh my gosh, this is a sea change in politics. And so I wrote about it.
Yeah, and Pennsylvania, as you mentioned in there, of course, it may be two of the strongest supporters of Israel in statewide office in the country. Of course, it's Josh Shapiro, the governor, and John Fetterman, the U.S. senator. And one wonders what sort of an impact it would have on them when it comes to re-election. I don't think it'll be perhaps an issue for re-election for Shapiro, but maybe in a primary for Fetterman, because it certainly seems that John Fetterman's going to be primary. Now, it's a long way away at this point. What is it, 2028?
That struck me, Doug, that while national Democratic leaders are going more far left and coming out against Israel, here in Pennsylvania we have two statewide elected Democrats. One is the governor, who's Jewish, Josh Shapiro, and that partially dinged him last year when he was in the running for vice president to pair up with Kamala Harris. Then John Fetterman, who is losing a lot of his base support among Democrats because he's perceived as being too pro-Jewish. So I thought it was interesting that Josh Shapiro is just as pro-Israel and is Jewish, but his support among his own people has not fallen off. Meanwhile, John Fetterman is very bluntly pro-Israel, and his support among his base Democrats has fallen. So, again, I pointed that out. I just think it's kind of, it's interesting. That's why I write these things. It's something that is shaking up Pennsylvania's polity.
It sure is. We're talking with Christopher Nicholas, veteran GOP political consultant and analyst extraordinaire, and you're also on TV, and it's and all over the state, the only statewide political discussion show, correct?
Correct. It's called This Week in Pennsylvania. People there in your part of the world may know that Channel 19, the old independent station, is now KDKA Plus, and the show This Week in Pennsylvania airs there Sundays at noontime. If you want to get up to speed, not just on state politics, but also on national politics, too.
And it's a both sides of the aisle type discussion, is what I should point out, too, as
right.
well.
I am the Republican analyst, and I am always seated next to the Democratic analyst, and we do that typical talking head back and forth type of stuff, Doug.
And it proves that people who might disagree can actually have a civil discussion which some people don't think can happen anymore. But it can.
Yeah, look, we want smart discussion, we want sharp discussion, but we don't want angry discussion. And I think 99.9% of the time on This Week in Pennsylvania, that's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. Going back to Congressman Dan Muser, I had this question raised to me the other day, and I didn't know the answer. I compared it way back to 1988 when George H.W. Bush was running for president. Of course, he ran up against Mike Dukakis. And Mike Dukakis' running mate at the time was Lloyd Benson. And a lot of people might forget he ran for vice president and U.S. Senator re-election in Texas simultaneously, which is permissible under the U.S. Constitution.
Well, they actually rewrote the law in Texas. Texas back then was run by all Democrats, unlike now where it's all Republican. They rewrote the law for him earlier in 1988. So that could be a possibility. So,
right. But and also it's not disallowed by the U.S. Constitution either.
Correct. Texas had a specific state law, which Pennsylvania has never had.
Right.
So if you're getting to the point where could Dan Muser had run for governor in Congress at the same time, he could have, yes.
Yeah, it'd be good if you let me to ask the questions. You look so smart when you do that. Come on, at least give me a chance to look like I know what I'm talking about. No, good for you. You know exactly where I was going.
A couple years ago, a state representative, Brendan Boyle, also ran for Congress, and he got elected to Congress, and then, of course, had to give up his state rep seat, and there was a special election for that a couple months later, and it switched parties. Martina White, who's now a member of State House Republican leadership, she won that special election. So special elections are interesting because they're special. We've talked about that before. So there's all these little asterisks in Pennsylvania politics, which is what I enjoy writing about in the newsletter.
This is sort of like Jeopardy. I gave the answer, you gave the question.
Doug, I give and I give. I try.
That means you also, we're like an old married couple, for heaven's sakes. You know what I'm thinking before I can even say it.
Yeah, that's scary for both.
I think it is, exactly. And of course, earlier I mentioned that we both worked for Arlen Specter. You were campaign manager in 2000, let me get this right, 4? Right?
2004 and 2010.
10, right? And I was not on the campaign end of it, but I was on the staff, district staff, director of his Pittsburgh regional office. Actually, I was with him for parts of all 5 terms. You left, you got drafted back in. You left, I got drafted back in. We were talking about Stacey Garrity earlier, who, of course, won her first term as state treasurer by being an incumbent, which is almost unheard of at the state level, to be in an incumbent row office. And, of course, that's the Auditor General, Attorney General, State Treasurer. Ran for, did I say State Treasurer? She won. That's what I meant to say. But I think the last time that happened was in 1988 when Barbara Hafer beat Don Bailey for Auditor General.
That exactly was the last time that an incumbent row officer stood for re-election and lost. And the interesting thing about Stacey Garrity that year is she got outspent easily 10-1 on TV.
Right.
Easily. And her opponent was independently wealthy. And I think one of the keys to that was the first year with the new voting laws where people could vote by mail. The other thing that people forget about, the part of the compromise that Republicans got, was we got rid of straight ticket voting.
Right. You couldn't pull one lever.
We could not go in and pull a lever or punch a button or check a box or check on a paper ballot and vote for all of one party, because there were still more Democrats than Republicans. There still are, but the difference is narrowed. So we always lost a lot of times just because somebody clicked the all-Democrat type of thing. And so I think that really helped her, and also helped Tim DeFore, who ran and was an upset winner for Auditor General, even though he ran in what's called an open seat. There was no candidate then. So those folks, Auditor General, Attorney General, Treasurer, they always run with the president. They're always up from presidential years. And then U.S. senators, one election, they're up with the president. The next one, they're up with the governor. So next year, we have what happens every 12 years, and it's what I call the short ballot. So next year in 2026, we have no row office races because they just happened, and there's no Senate race because we just had 2 in a row in 2022 and 2024. So the ballot, unlike last year, which is very long, and this year for our local elections will be very long, next year it's going to be brief. Everybody will vote for governor, for Congress, and for state house, and half for state senate. So it'll go from a cacophony to a quiet whisper next year. So hopefully those races that are up, they'll get a little bit more attention. So it's always tough for those row office people
to get attention.
Get attention because they're running with the governor. There's often a Senate race too, so they're down at the bottom of that pile.
Exactly. I should point out, when Barbara Hafer did defeat Don Bailey for Auditor General, I think it was most part because of the brilliant statewide campaign manager in 1988, and that, of course, was me. I was Barbara Hafer's campaign manager. But
it could be you, or it could be the ethical issues that her opponent had. I'd have to weigh them both carefully.
Or it could be the fact that she fired me in the summer of the campaign year, and maybe that's why she won, because she got rid of me.
That was her jet boost that propelled her.
Yeah, firing Doug. I got fired on a Friday. I was on leave from Specter's office. I went back to Specter on Monday. So, yeah, I had the weekend off and went back to my other job. Yes, she did win that year. But no, I can't take any credit for that one. And she won many more times after that, that's for sure. Christopher Nicholas, the veteran GOP political consultant and analyst. Last question for you. Folks want to subscribe to your newsletter, of course, the Pennsylvania Political Digest, or your own corporate website. Where can they go?
Well, they can go to simply papoliticaldigest.com. That'll give them a background on a podcast series I did a couple of years ago on political corruption. There's also a sign-up box for the PA Political Digest newsletter, which comes out every Tuesday and Friday to help keep people like you on top of things. And again, Channel 19 out there, noontime, KDKA Plus, for the show I do This Week in Pennsylvania.
And of course, it makes my show prep a lot easier when I read your stuff. But I always give you credit. That's for sure.
That's very nice of you, Doug.
I'm not going to steal your ideas without giving you credit. So I'll steal them, but I'll give you credit.
There you go.
That's how we'll do it.
There you go.
Chris, thanks so much. You have a good evening.
Take care, Doug. Bye.
All right, take care. Hey, we're going to take a break. We come back, we're going to talk to our intern around here, Lucas Moody, who is a fascinating major at California University of Pennsylvania. Oh, no, Penn West, California. Pennsylvania Western University, California. We're going to talk to him.
Is that the name? Yeah.
I think it's Penn West Cal.
We'll go with that.
PWC.
It's on all
also
the hoodies.
Pennsylvania Water Company, I think.
Well, that's we got to pay your bill.
Yeah, exactly. Stick around, folks. We'll be back.
For attorney Melinda Delarose, helping people with compassionate counseling, candid legal advice, strong advocacy, and professional commitment is what she does best. With an office at 99 East Main Street in Uniontown, attorney Delarose specializes in family law, municipal law, and general civil litigation, as well as personal injury, estate planning, probate, and more. For more information, call attorney Melinda Delarose at 724-437-3200, 724-437-3200, or online at delaroselaw.com.
Hey love, I'm Tiffany from Tiffany Smith Fine Art Studios, serving up confidence boosts in Periopolis in our brand new luxury studio in downtown Pittsburgh. I'm not just here to take your picture, I'm here to help you remember who you are. Whether it's been a wild few years or you're just feeling a little blah, this is your permission slip to feel powerful again. You'll laugh, maybe cry, and leave feeling like that girl. Book your experience at TiffanySmithFineArtStudios.com because you deserve to be seen.
51st Legislative District State Representative Charity Grimm Krupa is a proud sponsor of the WMBS live broadcast from the 2025 New Salem Volunteer Fire Department Hog Roast. She recognizes the critical role that the volunteer fire service plays in our communities, offering safety and peace of mind for area residents. Grimm Krupa encourages Fayette County residents to stop by the annual celebration on July 12th and 13th at the New Salem VFD. Grab a famous hog sandwich, enjoy some live music, and support this worthy cause.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink. at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Warm weather is finally here, and with it, the opportunity to upgrade your lawn or yard with a new fence from All Around Fence Company. Conveniently located at 7896 National Pike, Uniontown, All Around Fence has been installing quality residential, commercial, and farm fencing for more than 45 years. Offering residential fencing including chain link, decorative aluminum, steel, and more, All Around Fence has a fence for you. All Around Fence is also your one-stop shop for Neutrina products and carries livestock, equine, and pet supplies too. So whether you need to upgrade an existing fence, add a new gate, or are looking to install an all-new fence, All Around Fence has the answers for you. Visit them Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or give them a call at 724-439-0331. To learn more, visit allaroundfence.com.
Pizza King's in Connellsville is your go-to lunch and dinner spot with a full menu of mouth-watering pizzas and so much more. Using a deck oven helps our pizzas stay extra crisp, so if you haven't tried a slice lately, what are you waiting for? From our 50-slice King Carnivore to veggie pizzas and even pickle pizzas, Pizza King has the pie to match your taste. Pizza King's, 1046 Morrell Avenue in Connellsville. Call 724-626-8343 or visit pizzakingswithaz.com.
Welcome back to the third half of the Afternoon Drive Show on your local station. For those of you sick of hearing Doug Saltzman on the air today, because I also did the What's on Your Mind show, 15 more minutes, I'm out the door. But joining us right now in studio, last night we had a very extensive interview with our intern. I think it went a minute and a half. We did get you in, though, Lucas. He's our intern around here at WMBS. We'll teach him radio. I just said something to him and he nodded. I guess it works for Facebook Live. They can see a nod, but not on the radio end of it. But that's okay. Yesterday we talked to you, Lucas, about your major. Mm-hmm. You go to Penn West, California.
Correct.
Pennsylvania State. Pennsylvania Western University, California.
Yes.
I'm going to get this. Penn West, though. Everybody calls it Penn West Cal. These days. I just saw they finally changed the sign on the toll road. It actually says Pennsylvania Western University, California. Takes time to do these things. But your major is very interesting. Give us the full name of your major again.
Commercial music technology.
Commercial music technology. Now, when I was in college in the 80s, there were commercials, there was music, there was not that combination of commercial music technology. So, for my sake at least, explain what that means.
It means like certain technology like sound mixing boards and controlling and digital workstations and laboratories.
So your job would be, everybody, of course, wants to be mixing music. And
especially Pro Tools.
Pro Tools.
Yes, it's special.
Pro Tools, which leads to another question. What are Pro Tools?
It's like each track or like a MIDI to provide every single track by track sound, delays, reverbs on each track that you have to do.
When somebody hears this, and it goes, okay, they say, "Oh, you'd be the guy working in the sound booth for a big time singer, for instance, Taylor Swift." But obviously, there's plenty of other options to do this type of work. It'd be nice to work for Taylor, I would think. She seems to be relatively successful. But what are the type of job opportunities that you would do once you get this degree? And you're going to be a junior coming up this year, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's a 4-year program, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay. So what line of work would you end up doing with it? What is available for that type of degree?
It's like working recording studios around the world, like Abbey Road, Hansa Studios, like any other around the world. And for me in particular, like hearing music with like recent remasters by Charles Martin of the Beatles, who recently though, last year I think last year or maybe not, but probably recently 3 years ago, he did the Revolver album, and it sounded like deep mixing some of the songs so I can hear the drums very, very clear as well. And I want to do that. So that's like remixing and re-release music that has been out of print for many, many years.
So, what's amazing, Nick, and as he's working very hard over there on something.
He's talking way over my head. I can't understand him. He's way too smart for me, Doug.
And when you think about that you can take music that was done decades ago and refresh it. That's my analog mind trying to interpret what our intern's digital mind is explaining.
Good luck.
But it's that clarity is in there somewhere, whether it's old tape or old vinyl. But or
just like the original analog tapes from the Final Masters.
And those tapes are people go crazy for those tapes. I recently bought reel-to-reel tape of the music from Star Wars.
Oh,
George Lucas.
You're right.
Who did the
which
music?
I'm told
John Williams, right?
Yeah,
yes,
correct.
John Williams. Which I'm told is worth a lot of money, and I ought to sell it soon. Because those original people love those original reel-to-reels, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought this at a thrift shop for half off. I spent a lot of money on it, so I'm hoping to get my money back.
You were thrifting.
I was thrifting. I am
my
a good
nephew's
thrifter.
big into thrifting.
I was
He's 15.
thrifting right here in Fayette County today.
Where are you? Where'd you stop?
I did the trifecta of thrifting right here in Uniontown. I
St.
went
Vincent
to the.
de Paul?
I went to. No, that's a quadfecta. They weren't open. That would have been the fourth. But I went to Salvation Army. I went to
Goodwill,
and I went to the City Mission.
Oh, there you go.
So
Look
I did not get to St. Vincent's, not the college, but the thrift shop, because they weren't open.
Oh, what a shame.
So yeah, I love that thrifting stuff, and I found this, and somebody said, "Grab it." I've called a friend of mine. He said, "Oh, whatever it's cost, unless it's like an entire year's worth of pay, buy it." And so we'll see what happens on that. So I just find that fascinating that you can take these old and they're remastered, I guess is a layman's term, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fascinating. But again, obviously you do it with music, but it's not just pop music, rock music. It's also symphonic music that may have been recorded years ago. Something Leonard Bernstein would have,
good old Leonard
would have done back in the day. That you want to have that saved. It's sort of fat, but you could also literally the word commercial ads. You would have music that would go into an ad that you would want to reuse or something like that.
Yeah.
So it gives. This is a 4-year program, and Cal's very unique to have this major, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very unique.
Yeah. I know, of course, when they merged the schools, some of the programs went away from Clarion and headed over to Edinboro down to Cal. But that was a program Cal already had, correct?
Yes.
Do you have any idea how many years they had that?
Don't even know.
Yeah, but it is a relative. I would think in the world of academia, is it 10 years old? I mean, it's not that old, right? That's pretty new stuff.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you get interested in this?
I love music over the years because my dad has been a fan of like other bands that introduced me, like Pink Floyd, Beatles, U2.
We got to have his dad on next.
Rush.
Rush, oh.
Yeah.
Most people your age wouldn't know Pink Floyd or Rush so you have your dad to thank for that. I think my kids love the Beatles. I think because of me and my ex, we like the Beatles a lot. But yeah, the new music, which I just don't understand at times, frankly.
Yeah, I know. Also AI, use of AI, which is not the way it used to be.
Well, when you think, like, the Beatles were the first ones to do what was called double tracking or triple where you could have the same music played over itself. Mm-hmm. And people complained about that. Like, no, they should have played it 3 times, which in fact they did, and then tracked it over itself. AI can do it on its own.
Well, knowing that for Now and Then, the new song, it was never been used. It was actually to use like Peter Jackson from Get Back, the documentary from Disney Plus. He actually provide like the special Mal machine, like the audio assisted learning machine, and he's just provide the way that John's voice, John Lennon, to use the voice and to put it on that machine, and then And that's like the real young John Lennon singing yet again.
Yeah, and this was in the '60s. This is not like we're grabbing stuff that was
like
done
he
2
did.
years ago.
He did the demo of that song in '77 when he retired. He retired from the music industry to raise his son Sean Lennon, and right now he's been working to re-release his dad's music. Like recently, last year, he re-released the Mind Games Ultimate Mix, like the box that has all the stuff, like the special vinyl, CD, collectibles, and pretty much everything that it has. And it won a Grammy for Best Box Limited Edition release. And I was happy that it was like a special design for it.
We're talking with Lucas Moody, the intern here at WMBS, who's
Smart
a student
guy. I don't
at
even-
Penn West. I have 4 daughters. I've always wanted one of these, a son. So if your parents are looking, for any reason to give you up, I'll adopt you because you're a pretty cool guy. And anybody
like a plot to a sitcom.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, considering I'm probably 20 years older than your dad, I don't know how old your parents are. But
They're born in the same year, 1977.
Oh my, yeah. Well,
babies.
they're only. Let me do the addition. They're only 14 years younger than me.
Oh, there you go.
Not bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah,
Good year, 77.
Incredible what you're able to share with us here and explain this stuff in terms that someone like me with an analog brain can understand. Nick is somewhere in between.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah, he's young, but he's got an old brain.
I do have an old brain, and an old body. It feels like some days.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Popcorn diet?
No. The pop.
Because that is.
I always say
sometimes.
that. You know more about pop culture.
Pop
thank
culture,
you.
I do.
Yes. Than anybody else.
I grew up with no friends.
You're
it's all TV and books.
The fact that you understand this stuff and can explain it to us. It just when I say this stuff, not your degree, but the music from an era that was long ago. But you hear a Beatles song play on this station or others.
Yeah.
It literally at this point
60 years old.
65 years old. And it's fresh.
It still sounds great.
Yeah. There's still some music that's like that. Now, I don't know. People say, will you hear Madonna 50 years from now? Will you hear Taylor Swift?
I hope not.
Taylor Swift 50 years from now. Cardi B 50 years from now.
We're still hearing Like a Virgin in 50 years.
I don't know. But the Beatles will be playing literally forever. And thankfully, because of folks like you who are going to preserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's your goal. Keep the Beatles going. I just recently, when some of the kids of the Beatles got together and played some music, right? Sean Lennon played and Zach Starkey, right?
Yeah.
Zach Starkey.
Zach Starkey.
Because he just got fired recently.
From the Who.
And he was rehired back.
Rehired back.
Well, then fire Ringo's son. He must not be doing a good job.
Yeah, Zach Starkey, of course, is the son of Ringo Starr, whose real name is Richard Starkey.
That's right.
And he's the main drummer for the Beatles. I've told this show. I went to go see the Who many years ago. With a date who was half my age, and when I pointed out that the drummer was Ringo's son, I'm not sure if she knew who Ringo was.
Oh boy!
So that was
at that point, I would leave.
I figured, at that point,
I'd
let's
leave
move
the
on.
date.
Exactly. Well, this has been a great conversation with our intern here. We appreciate your taking time to talk to us. Fascinating stuff. You're not an accounting major or an economics major. That wouldn't be as good a conversation as this one.
No.
Of course, as we're talking with Lucas Moody, the intern extraordinaire, and the music consultant for the Afternoon Drive show on your local station, WMBS Uniontown. Stick around.
Quality parts, accessories, paints, tools, and supplies. Napa Auto Parts complete line for cars, trucks.